Triplex on Fifth Avenue?
Conrad can have it.
Oh, you just spent $500,000 redecorating it.
The chalet in Aspen?
I despise the cold.
The house on Fisher Island?
Rather than wasting more time here, let me make this simple. My client is willing to give up her rights to every piece of property, except Grayson Manor.
Because your client knows that this property is worth more than all the other properties combined.
And as for the art, all she's asking for is the Renoir, the Pollock, and the Henry Moores.
And the Kandinsky.
Well, what about the de Kooning I bought you for your 40th? The one you said you couldn't live without.
Well, like so many things, it hasn't aged well.
Against my advice, Miss Grayson is being more than fair here. In addition to her share of the finances, all she's asking for is one house, a few pieces of art, and, of course, Charlotte.
Mr. Grayson is seeking sole custody.
That's out of the question.
Charlotte came to live with me of her own volition. I'm just trying to honor that choice.
The only thing you've ever honored is your own ego. You've been on a campaign to alienate her from me for years.
Charlotte needed no provocation. Victoria was recently caught on camera confessing that she'd wished our daughter had never been born.
You're reprehensible.
Why don't we table this for now?
I concur. I took the liberty of glancing through the prenup that Victoria signed back in '86. We'll be using this as the basis for any financial discussions going forward.
Actually, Barbara, we won't. See, Victoria was pregnant when she signed the prenup, which by any court's definition would qualify as duress. Therefore, she's entitled to a full 50% of all assets accrued during the marriage.
Duress. Marrying me was the best thing that ever happened to that woman.
We'll see you in mediation. Discoveries in our research into Mr. Grayson's finances.
There have also been some interesting discoveries about your client's past indiscretions.
Any infidelities my client may have participated in from a legal standpoint was voided by your client's affair with Ms. Davis.
I'm afraid we're talking about a much more serious breach of trust here, Ryan.
Do you know the name of my favorite aunt? The one who raised me? Well, Victoria does. On the day that she was supposed to testify, she fell ill. Weeks later, she gave birth to a baby girl. She named her Charlotte. Same as my aunt. I think that she did it to send me a message that the little girl she was raising with Conrad is mine.
Where did you get this?
My dear, that's hardly the issue.
We will be ordering a paternity test.
And if Charlotte isn't mine, I can assure you that the only way you're going to keep this from the media is to walk away from this sham of a marriage with whatever I deign to give you. Which won't include the Grayson name, by the way. When we're done with all of this, you're going to be back to Victoria Harper, which is only fitting considering you'll once again be the desperate, penniless little bitch you were when I first met you.
Very generous of you. She's not to blame, after all.
She does realize that means we're done with the idea of mediation.
You really want a protracted trial? You know, you'll both be skewered in the media.
No, somehow I think it's my soon-to-be ex-wife who's going to draw the most unflattering spotlight. I need to speak with her in private.
That might not be the best.
No, I would
time.
advise against that.
It's not a request.
Must you drag Charlotte into all this?
Me? That's rich. Here are your options, and they are limited. A, you accept the pittance I'm prepared to offer you in exchange for avoiding a trial. Or B, we take this to court, and it becomes common knowledge that Charlotte is the daughter of the most hated man in America, meaning you had a torrid love affair with a terrorist.
David Clark was no terrorist, and he was twice the man you ever were.
Well, you're going to have a very hard time convincing the rest of the world of that. So what's it going to be, Victoria? A or B?
I did everything you asked for. And now you're prepared to throw your children to the wolves and leave me with nothing, all because of your wounded pride?
I'll instruct Barbara to send over my final proposal. Rejected. And whatever happens to Charlotte will be on your hands.
Bloody hell. What is this?
This is the deed to Grayson Manor.
And what about the shares to the company? I told you they were a deal breaker.
I'm not going to relinquish Grayson Global, Victoria, not to you, not to my father. Daniel is going to have his time at the head of the table. This is not that time. Settle now, and I'm going to see to it you get full cash value for all your shares. Well, at least tell me you're going to think about it. Last minute adjustments to your speech?
A long overdue adjustment to my life. I called your lawyer, and I've agreed to your terms. I had her send over a messenger with the divorce papers. You were right, Conrad. It's time to end this.
Rather poetic timing, don't you think? See you at the party.